Buenas noches. Welcome to Nita Bisita. In a few weeks, we will be celebrating Discovery Day. No doubt we will see a reenactment of Magellan's landing at Umatic. Why was Magellan so controversial? Why was he so greatly admired and despised at the same time? Ni esta visita estina marinero de Talii. These are cloves, the aromatic unopened flower buds which are used for spice, either whole or ground. You can find them these days in any market. There was a time, however, when the primary sources of these spices were two islands in the Moluccas, Ternate and Tidor, highlighted on this map and located almost on the equator, about 600 miles or so south by southeast of the Philippines. Ferdinand Magellan, a Portuguese, was in his country's service when he first sailed to the Moluccas by going to the southern tip of Africa to the Cape of Good Hope and then sailing eastward across the Indian Ocean to the Moluccas. Although he had distinguished himself both in sailing and in battle, he fell in disfavor with the King of Portugal and was eventually dismissed from its service. In 1517, he entered into the service of Spain after becoming a citizen of that country. He was successful in persuading the King of Spain that he could find a different route to the Spice Islands. On September 20, 1519, an expedition of 5 ships under Magellan's command left Spain, and almost immediately, Magellan had trouble with the captains of his ships, all Spanish, who resented being under the command of a Portuguese. By the time Magellan and his crew cleared the southern tip of South America and entered a new sea, his men were on the verge of starvation and many were suffering from the sailors' most feared disease, scurvy. The sea was calm and peaceful and Magellan named it Oceano Pacifico. As he sailed northward to warmer weather, his ships caught the equatorial current just north of the equator, which gave him the most precious gift for a sailor, fair winds and a following sea. The currents carried them westward to the relief of the crew. Some accounts of this good fortune in the weather attributed it to divine intervention. On March 6, 1521, about a year and a half since they left Spain, the expedition reached 13 degrees north and 144 degrees east and sighted Guam, or was sighted first by ancient Chamorros. This painting, while artistically well done, portrays Magellan and his crew who came ashore in Guam as healthy and hardy. A more likely scenario was that they were gaunt, diseased, and starving. They were probably seizing whatever they could eat or drink rather than waiting to be served. In turn, the natives seized what they wanted and paid dearly for it with their lives and property, and a name, Ladrone, that was to remain on the charts for almost 3 centuries was given to the islands of these Chamorros. Magellan was eventually killed in the Philippines in a battle with the Filipinos. His expedition lost 1 more ship due to damage and another was captured. While Magellan himself died in the Philippines, he had in fact circumnavigated the globe, albeit in 2 phases. First, going east from Spain as a Portuguese navigator, and then a few years later, going west from Spain as a Spanish explorer. On September 6, 1522, almost 3 years after they left, one ship, the Victoria, under the command of Juan Sebastián de Elcano, returned to Spain with 18 survivors of the original crew of 265. Elcano became a hero, but Magellan was forgotten. When Magellan first visited the Spice Islands for Portugal, he obtained a slave whom he named Enrique, who remained with him for years and was with him when Magellan sailed for Spain. There are some who now claim that Enrique was a Filipino, originally from Cebu, and was in fact the first to sail around the world, having already reached the Spice Islands before Magellan found him. That argument is ongoing right now. However, there is no argument that in 1960, the Navy's largest submarine, the USS Triton, powered by the atom, entered the history books by circumnavigating the globe in Magellan's wake in 2 months, submerged. On that epic trip was a U.S. Navy man born in Agate, whose name is Edward Carbolito, a tomorrow. To this day, Magellan's incredible trip, which proved that the Earth was round, is still considered by many as the greatest navigational achievement of all time. And our island and our ancestors played a role, however briefly, in that great age of discovery that changed the world. Guau si ben blas, este otro viaje. Buenas noches.